As the Wuhan-originated coronavirus pandemic rapidly sweeps across the world, the main psychological impact to date is elevated rates of stress or anxiety. With new measures and impacts being introduced, especially quarantine, lockdown, and the effects on many people's usual activities, routines, or livelihoods, levels of loneliness, depression, harmful alcohol and drug use, and self-harm or suicidal behavior are also expected to rise. Today we will learn ways to maintaining mental hygiene during such situation with a young Tibetan psychologist who did a master's in psychology from MS University Baroda and worked as a psychologist and inclusive education consultant at the Tibetan Ability Center in Dharamshala. Her name is Pasang Bhuti. Pasangla, welcome to our show.
Tashle and greetings to all the viewers.
Pasangla, in what ways can we maintain our emotional hygiene in the current situation?
So, as we all know that we all are going through this pandemic together, that we will have some kind of anxiety or panic during this pandemic. So, in order to have emotional and mental hygiene, you can practice the 7 tips at your home. First one is to form a daily routine so that it will bring some structure in your day during this lockdown. And second one is to do some daily activities such as physical workouts, or for elder generation you can do the breathing exercise and prayers or yoga, whichever is preferable to you. And third one is to have a social connection during this lockdown, as we all are physically distanced, locked at our home. So it is very important to have a social connection with your family members, your colleagues. It's very important to have it. And the fourth is to form new hobbies during this pandemic, such as learning how to cook. You can read some new books to improve your knowledge, and you can improve your skill staying at home. And fifth one is to have enough sleep so that your body will be recharged through your sleep to have a better immune system. And sixth one is to have a personal space or personal time during this lockdown, so that it will improve and strengthen your relationship with your family member, your parents, your spouses, and your children. And the last one is very important, is during this pandemic we all are having anxiety or some kind of panic. So in order to remove it, so we have to be positive during this time. Saying this, I remember one of the quote from His Holiness the Dalai Lama, that we have to prepare for the worst. So this is a worst stressful situation we all are going through. So we have to be prepared. We have to be mentally prepared by following this 7 tip or guideline for your mental hygiene, and hope for the best.
Generally, each individual respond to stresses and anxiety in different ways. If we categorize population based on age groups, how do you suggest the elderly people to maintain mental health?
That is true. So people respond differently to stresses and anxiety. There is individual difference present while dealing with stresses and anxiety in our life. So if a person faces stresses for a shorter period of time, that one is called acute stress. And if the person faces stress for a longer period of time, that one is chronic stress. So for our elder generation, it is very important to maintain their physical and mental health during this pandemic by following the routine, having a structure in their mind, doing daily prayers and breathing exercise for their physical and mental well-being. And it is very important for them to have a nutritious diet, staying hydrated, and having enough sleep to recharge their immune system. It is very essential to stay at home, especially for the elder generation, because they are vulnerable to this COVID-19 as they have pre-existing health condition such as blood pressure, diabetic, and heart disease. So it is very important for our elder generation to stay at home, physically distance from other, and socially connect with their family member through phone or social media.
Similarly, youth and the people in their middle ages, how do they tend to react to such negative emotions? What would you recommend them to follow to stay mentally fit?
Yeah. So in the middle age group or in our youngster, during this pandemic, uh, they might have lots of negative emotions and thought due to these stresses. So they can engage their mind by following a routine. First one. Second one is doing a daily exercise is very important for them, and staying socially connected and developing new hobbies is very important. And most important thing is to have a positive and broader mind that this pandemic is for a time being, that this too shall pass. So it is very important to stay positive and have a self positive talk during this pandemic.
During lockdown, the children cannot go to schools or parks. They have a limited space to run around and cannot even meet their friends. In such situation, what kinds of behavior should the parents expect in their children? How can those emotions be dealt with?
Yeah, so during this lockdown, the well being of the children and the kids is very important. So, if a child asks what is coronavirus, why we are at home, then you can briefly explain that virus is usually not good for our health and it will make us sick or ill. So, this much information is enough for a kid's intellectual capacity, and you can engage your child by doing indoor games or indoor activities and having a movie together. And it is very important to have a less exposure of media and news about coronavirus with your kid to reduce their stresses. And like older generation, the diet, nutritious diet, staying hydrated, enough sleep is also very important for the kids during this pandemic.
Thank you so much, Pasangla, for coming to our show and giving us this informative knowledge, which is very much needed at this time of crisis. Thank you for being with us.
Yeah, so through this platform, I would like to request all of you to follow this tip for your healthy mind and healthy body. And I would like to thank all the frontline health workers such as doctors, nurses, staff for keeping us safe. Thank you for having me.